Okay, so again this week I'm going to give you a bit of an introduction to aural scales and how you might start recognizing some of these seventh chords by ear, but I by no means expect anyone to be perfect at this, especially the time that we have. If you want to try focusing on dominant sevenths and major sevenths, telling those two apart, that's probably good enough for our purposes, for our little flyover of music theory in this spring term. So don't stress it if it's just not coming to your brain very quickly when you hear a chord and be able to identify it. Because essentially what you're doing is you're first identifying what kind of triad is on the bottom, major, minor, diminished, and then you're on top of that trying to figure out, do I hear a major seventh or a minor seventh surrounding that? And that's assuming all of it is in root position. I want to show you kind of out of order from what's on your cheat sheet. I'm going to start with all the seventh chords that have a major triad on the bottom. It's easiest to see in the key of C, so that's what I'm going to do. So we've got our root, our third, our fifth. We've got a major triad on the bottom. In order to get a major seventh, we're going to add a major seventh from here up to this direction. So here's your major seventh, and it would be solfege-wise do, mi, so, ti. Okay, it does fit within the key signature. It has that sort of elevator music sound to it, you know, right? And then if you want to switch then to your dominant seventh, you keep that major triad on the bottom, but you're going to, instead of having the minor or the major seventh on the top, you're going to make it a minor seventh and go to this B flat here. As real traditional seventh chord, the most common one, at least for our purposes, right? So we've got our major seventh, our dominant seventh, and both of them have that major triad in the bottom. If we switch to a minor triad in the bottom, we're going to lower that third, and then we get another set of options. We can have that minor triad with a major seventh. That's our minor major. Sounds like some sort of trouble just popped up in like one of those film noirs, you know what I'm talking about? Right? Bad guy just entered. Okay, so your minor triad with a major seventh. To turn that into a minor seventh, then we need that minor triad with a minor seventh. You can still see that. There we go. Also kind of a smooth, jazzy sort of chord. Okay, to get our diminished and half diminished seventh, we need to start at the bottom with a diminished triad. So we're going to need to lower this third and this fifth by a half step. We did this last week. There's your diminished triad, and you can add either a minor seventh on the top. There's your half diminished seventh chord. Or you can add a diminished seventh, which is really, like I mentioned last week, the same distance as a major sixth. There's your fully diminished seventh. Okay, so just to go in order and sort of summarize, we're going to start up here with our major triad. We have our options for a major seventh chord, right? Major triad, major seventh, or our dominant seventh, major triad, minor seventh, or we have our minor seventh chord option, which means minor triad and minor seventh. We can also have our minor major option, which is minor triad, major seventh. And then we have our half diminished seventh, which is our diminished triad with our minor seventh, or our fully diminished seventh, with the same thing except you diminish this seventh down to here. Okay, from minor seventh to diminished seventh. Okay, so all really interesting sounds, different combinations. All your options right there.